I'm Jessica Mitton for IB Times TV with your midday market update, and joining me again is John Corpina from Meridian. Now, we are getting earnings. We did get JPMorgan, Wells Fargo earlier today, kicking off financial earnings. Now, we saw JPMorgan's profit fall, but they didn't miss estimates. When it comes to those legal fines that they were hit by, what was the investors' outlook on those earnings?
You know, I think it's a mixed bag that's there because everyone's been waiting, especially for JPMorgan's earnings to come out, and to see how those fines and legal fees are going to impact their earnings and the forecast moving forward. I think from an investor standpoint, they're happy that this is getting behind them in some sort of way. Write the check, move on, and go forward. So I think from a psychological aspect, the investors are somewhat comfortable with the information that's come out over the last week and how JPMorgan is going to proceed moving forward. Now the question is this the end of it? Can there be more? How much more of it's going to come? It seems to me from the information that we've received already that it seems like this is the right direction of closing this chapter in this book, but that should give investors a little bit more confidence in JPMorgan specifically.
Now, we did also hear from Wells Fargo. Their earnings did rise 10%. Now, when it comes to the Fed's decision with interest rates, they're maintaining those. How exactly does tapering QE now affect those big financial banks in this next quarter, in the first quarter?
Right, so specifically with Wells Fargo, a majority of their revenue is coming from mortgages, right? So watching what the Fed does, tapering, interest rate movements, watching the 10-year, the 30-year, this is all going to affect their revenue and their stream. It's all tied together with the housing markets. Do Main Street investors out there have enough money to go buy new homes? Can they get accepted for mortgages? The mortgage application has become a little bit strenuous at times. But what's happening in Washington is clearly going to dictate Wells Fargo's core profit center that's there. So watching that closely is going to be very important for investors in Wells Fargo now. It seems that the housing market is getting better little by little. Banks have to make it a little bit easier for regular people to apply for mortgages and get mortgages. So we'll see some change in that hopefully in the near future. But Wells Fargo business is based around that housing market.
Now, also this week, we still have earnings from Bank of America, Citigroup, Morgan Stanley. When it comes to Bank of America, what are you forecasting for tomorrow when they report?
I want to say that Bank of America is probably one of the cleaner companies that we're going to see. I don't think we're going to have any dark clouds over their earnings reports. They should probably see what we've seen already, beat on earnings, miss on revenue. Just a question of how much they miss on revenue. Outlook is going to be the same as what we've seen from some of the other financials. It all comes down to Washington, tapering, how's that going to affect our market, how's that going to affect our economy. I believe the Wells Fargo CEO today made a comment that 2014 economy is not going to be as rosy as 2013 was. That's an acceptable statement to make considering the high standard that we've set for 2013, but I think we are starting to see some reserved outlook moving forward.